Peter, when shame silences you. Shame is a heavy shroud. Peter stumbled into the shadows of the city, away from the flickering torches. He collapsed against a cold stone wall, his hands covering his face. The bitter tears wouldn't stop. He had promised to die for his friend, yet he couldn't even stand for him. While the sky turned black and the ground shook, Peter remained hidden. He couldn't bear to see the man he had failed. While others stood at the foot of the cross, Peter was paralyzed by his own silence. The silence of shame felt louder than the cries of the crowd. The tomb was empty, they said. Breathless whispers of life filled the room. But Peter's heart remained entombed. How could he face a living master? To Peter, the resurrection wasn't a hope. It was a mirror reflecting his greatest failure. He was trapped in the night of his own denial. "I am going fishing," he muttered. It was easier to return to the nets than to carry the title of apostle he no longer felt he deserved. The rhythmic pull of the oars and the smell of the salt were familiar. In the boat, he was just a fisherman again, lost and quiet. As dawn broke, a figure stood on the shore. "Friends, haven't you any fish?" the voice called. Then, the nets overflowed. Recognition struck Peter like a lightning bolt. "It is the Lord!" Without a second thought, he plunged into the cold water, swimming desperately toward the shore, driven by hope. Dripping and shivering, Peter reached the sand. There was no lecture, no rebuke, only a charcoal fire and the smell of roasting fish. "Come and have breakfast," Jesus said softly. In the warmth of the fire, the silence between them began to shift from the weight of shame to peace. After they had eaten, Jesus turned to him. "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" The old name stung, a reminder of who he was before the call. "Yes, Lord," Peter whispered. "You know that I love you." Jesus replied with a simple command, "Feed my lambs." A second time, the question came. Then a third. With each question, the three denials were met with a chance to speak the truth. Peter was hurt that Jesus asked again, his heart aching with the memory of the courtyard. But through the pain, the poison was being drawn out. "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." The confession was final. The silence was broken. Jesus didn't just forgive him, he trusted him. "Feed my sheep," he said. Peter was no longer defined by the night he ran away, but by the morning he was called back. Years passed. Peter walked thousands of miles, his voice no longer silent. He fed the sheep, just as he was told, until the day came to give his final testimony. He who once denied a friend in a courtyard now stood firm, his life a living bridge for others to cross. Shame tells you that your failure is your identity. It whispers that you are disqualified and unheard. But the Savior sits by the fire, waiting to ask you the same question. He does not fear your silence. He invites you to speak again. Grace has the final word.